Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. Let's sing Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giravardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giravardhari. Shodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjana Shodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjanashalakhya Chakshura Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakam Shri Guru Vaishnavcha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sagana Raghunatunitam Samsachim Sadhuetam Savdutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranmami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpatu Brihascha Kripa Sindhumevacha Paditana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Ti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasdi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Grim Yat Kirpatam Vande Shri Gurun Din Taranam Paramananda Madham Shitanesharam Hariyam Tassat Narayam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Naruttamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jamaduriyat Nasta Presha Avdureshu Nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhakti Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki Hari Hari Bol. So, thank you for joining, and we shall continue Vishamdev's pastimes. And last night we were talking about tribulations. We're talking about the Mahajans and how they see Krishna, how they understand Krishna. And there are a lot of examples given to us, why things happen, and they're only a token of what we would receive by Krishna's mercy, that he reduces our reactions like that. So, yeah, there was a lot of things that, we can apply, a lot of philosophy that we can apply in our life for a better quality of life, because, the tribulations come and go, and we should not be affected by them so much, because this is the nature of the material world. These things do happen, will happen, have happened, and we have to tolerate to an extent, and do something about what we can, and things that we can't do anything about, we just have to tolerate them. Simple as that. So stop sharing that. And so we are in verse 22. Tatapi ekant bhakteshu pasya bhupanum kampitam yanme somas tyajataha sakshat krishno darshanam agataha. So Tatapi, still ekant, unflinching, bhakteshu, onto the devotees, pasya, see here, bhupa, O king, anukampitam, how sympathetic, yat, for which, may my asun life, tyajataha, ending, sakshat, directly, krishnaha, the personal Godhead, darshanam, in my view, agataha, has kindly come. So this is Vishamdev speaking. He said, yet despite his being equally kind to everyone, he has graciously come before me while I'm ending my life, for I am his unflinching servitor. And this unflinching word is mentioned many times in Bhagavad-Gita. Krishna likes, if you're unflinching, if you are satatam, you're continuous without breaking. Because a lot of people, they can't make up their mind, who they want to follow. One minute they're following Krishna, then they're following somebody else, and they come back to Krishna. Now, if you're going to follow Krishna, then you stick to that, with one focus. So the Supreme Lord, the absolute personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, although equal to everyone, is still more inclined to his unflinching devotee who's completely surrendered and knows no one else as his protector and master. Having unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord as one's protector, friend, and master is the natural condition of eternal life, because that is our constitutional position. A living entity is so made by the will of the Almighty that he is most happy when placing himself in a condition of absolute dependence. So the opposite tendency is the cause of fall down. The living entity has this tendency of falling down by dint of misidentifying himself as fully independent to lord it over the material world. The root cause of all troubles is there in false egotism. One must draw towards the Lord in all circumstances. When we start thinking that we are God and we are equal to Krishna, that's when troubles begin. The appearance of Lord Krishna at the deathbed of Bhishamji is due to his being an unflinching devotee of the Lord. Arjuna had some bodily relation with Krishna because the Lord happened to be his maternal cousin. But Bhisham had no such bodily relation. Therefore, the cause of attraction was due to the intimate relation of the soul. Yet, because the relation of the body is very pleasing and natural, the Lord is more pleased when he is addressed as the son of Maharaj Nanda, the son of Yashoda, the lover of Radharani. This affinity by bodily relation with the Lord is another feature of reciprocating loving service with the Lord. Vishamdev is conscious of this sweetness of transcendental humor, and therefore he likes to address the Lord as Vijay Sakhe, Partha Sakhe, etc. Exactly like Nandana or Yashoda Nandana. The best way to establish a relation in transcendental sweetness is to approach him through his recognized devotees. One should not try to establish the relation directly. There must be a medium which is transparent and competent to lead us to the right path. So, Srila Prabhupada explains that Bhisham is very grateful that Krishna has come before him. Krishna is Bhakt Vatsala. He always reciprocates. Bhisham, after welcoming all the guests, instructing Yudhishthira Maharaj is now directing his attention to Krishna. So he's spoken to everyone. He has instructed Yudhishthira, and now he is turning his focus towards Krishna. He has no other protector, only Krishna. That's a pure devotee. He has unflinching faith in the Lord as the protector, friend, and master, as we mentioned. We should always have this from our head into our heart. We should start our journey of dependence on Krishna. So, such relationships are more deeper, more powerful. Shaking hands and material hugging is a material relationship. We should also have this from our head into our heart. We should start a journey of dependence on Krishna. So, shaking hands, hugging, this is very mechanical, right? It's very external. It should come from the heart. Relationship should come from the heart. So Arjuna had a bodily relationship with Krishna. Bhishma had a soul relationship with Krishna. Although Arjuna had a soul relationship as well, but he was thinking, his cousin more. So, but Bhishma didn't have that relationship. It was just soul relationship with Krishna. So we have material relationships and some soul relationships. We want to move away from material relationships to soul relationships. We want to go deeper. Soul relationships are more deeper, more powerful. Okay. So we establish our relationship with Krishna through his devotees. The more devotees we have, the closer Krishna comes to you. They are like telescopes that bring Krishna closer and transparent. So we see Krishna through the devotees like they're a telescope. The Acharyas, they are not translucent, they are transparent. They don't make their own interpretations or own philosophy. They do not block our vision to see Krishna. We can see Krishna very clearly. They are not opaque, which means you can't see anything or you see something else. It should also be transparent. We should take the message and give the message without changing. So the message is coming transparent through the parampara. Our relationship with Krishna is of the soul by the spiritual masters. So we are connected to the parampara, and everything we do, it goes through the parampara. We thank the parampara, and the message is passed on all the way to Krishna. So, but just purity and transparency is not enough, is further mentioned. There must be some competency as well. The skill, a pure devotee must have the skill to lead us on the right path. If we don't have anyone like that, then we have Srila Prabhupada. So you follow the devotees, or if there's nobody like that in your vicinity, then you follow Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was competent enough to distribute Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam around the globe, even to the remote areas. We just need to uphold his legacy and give it as it is. So, just mentioned Prabhupada, the preferred kirtan with short and fast mantras rather than long and slow mantras. Because with the same amount of time, we can fit more mantras in that much time. So very slow kirtan, you only get one mantra in, say, half a minute. If it's a fast kirtan, short mantras, you can fit a lot more of the holy name in that. And fit more mantras, and also the mind does not get distracted. we shouldn't interfere with Prabhupada's competency because it reduces the potency he gave us. Anyway, this is another thing. I think it's more like with Kirtan, and just an example of controlling the mind and focusing on Krishna. So that's like Bhishamdev is totally focused on Krishna as he leaves his body. So Bhaktaveshya Mano Yasmin Vacha Yannam Kirtayan Tejan Kalevaram Yogi Mushyate Kam Karamabi. So Bhaktya with devout attention, Aveshya meditating, Mana mind, Yasmin in whose, Vacha by words, Yat Krishna Nam holy name, Kirtayan by chanting, Tayajan quitting, Kalevaram this material body, Yogi the devotee, Muchyate gets released, Kam karma be from fruity activities. So the personal Godhead who appears in the mind of the devotee by attentive devotion and meditation and by chanting of the holy name releases the devotee from the bondage of fruity activities at the time of his quitting the material body. So yoga means concentration of the mind, detached from all other subject matters, and actually such concentration is called samadhi, or 100% engagement in the service of the Lord. And one who concentrates his attention in that manner is called a yogi. Such a yogi, devotee of the Lord, engages himself 24 hours daily in the service of the Lord, so that his whole attention is engrossed with the thoughts of the Lord in ninefold devotional service. So there's 9 types of services, namely hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, praying, becoming a voluntary servant, carrying out orders, establishing a friendly relationship, or offering all that one may possess in the service of the Lord. So if you're doing any of these things, then you are connecting with Krishna through devotional service. By such practice of yoga or linking up in the service of the Lord, one is recognized by the Lord himself, as it is explained in the Bhagavad-Gita concerning the highest perfectional stage of samadhi. The Lord calls such a rare devotee the best amongst all the yogis. Such a perfect yogi is enabled by the divine grace of the Lord to concentrate his mind upon the Lord with a perfect sense of consciousness. So it's not just about the external services, you have to connect your mind as well. It's very important. There's a connection of the mind and the heart with Krishna as well, not just mechanically doing the services. And thus, by chanting his holy name before quitting the body, the yogi is at once transferred by the internal energy of the Lord to one of the eternal planets where there is no question of material life and its concomitant factors. In material existence, a living being has to endure the material conditions of threefold miseries, life after life. According to his fruity work, such material life is produced by material desires only. Devotional service to the Lord does not kill the natural desires of the living being, but they are applied in the right course of devotional service. So we cannot stop desiring, but we just aim those desires through Krishna rather than directly trying to enjoy. We still do those things, but to please Krishna rather than our own senses. And typical examples are like eating and maybe doing kirtan, like singing, sing Krishna, Krishna's holy name, Mahamantra, like that. So you can still sing. If you like doing drama, you can do drama for Krishna, do his pastimes. So there's many things you can do. You want to see a movie, go and see Narsinga Mahavatar. It's not like that. There's always something. Krishna has his hands everywhere. Whatever you want to do, you can always find a way to do it for Krishna. This qualifies the desire to be transferred to the spiritual sky. General Bhishamdev is referring to a particular type of yoga called Bhakti Yoga. And he was fortunate enough to have the Lord directly in his presence before he quitted his material body. He therefore desired that the Lord stay before his view in the following verses. So this is amazing that Bhishamdev, he has full control over when he leaves his body, and he also has Krishna's physical presence there. Really couldn't ask for more, and really you can't mess up that one, as they say. You can't mess this up, but some people could, because we have Krishna in front of us as in his holy name, and at the time of death we can remember his holy name and chant Hare Krishna as we leave the body. That is good as saying Krishna face to face. Excuse me. So that's 23. It's mentioned that Krishna consciousness is not meant to be part-time. Part-time is great, but full-time is best. No time to part-time to full-time. Everything we are doing right now should culminate in remembering Krishna at the time of death. That's the idea. If you also think of Krishna, that's what you think of at time of death. Even if you have to focus on family members at that time, you should follow Bhisham-dev, and at the right time focus on Krishna. Sometimes you have to give instructions and tell your family things, but you should quickly come to Krishna. Just like this is the great example of Bhisham-dev. So he's doing responsibilities to the family. He's not neglecting them. He's giving them instructions and help them with their despondency. And now he comes back to Krishna because he wants to leave his body. Even if we focus, we should, so Krishna, at least at that time of death, we need to become full-time absorbed in Krishna, at least that time. Ask family members to chant Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada taught us how to live and how to die. At the time of death, Bhisham had Krishna in front of him. We'll have the holy name with us. So when we leave our body one day, we will have to. That's the rule of this material world. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, and he is in his holy name. So chanting is very important. We try and chant ourselves and ask people around you to chant as you leave. So this is the way Srila Prabhupada has taught us. And 24. So Deva Devo Bhagwan Pratikshtam Kalevram Yavad Idam Hinomi Aham Prasanna Hasarun Lokono Lasan Mukham Bujo Dayan Patas Chaturpuja. So Saha Hey Deva Deva, the Supreme Lord of the Lords, Bhagwan, the Personal Godhead, Pratikshatam, may kindly wait, Kalevram, body, Yavat, as long as Idam, this material body, Hinomi, may quit, Aham, I, Parasanna, cheerful, Has, smiling, Arun, Lochan, eyes red like the morning sun, Alosat, beautifully decorated, Mukha Abhujam, the lotus flower of his face, Dhyan Patha, in the path of my meditation, Chaturpuja, the four-handed form of Narayan, the worshipful deity of Bhisham-dev. So, I think he's doing it praise now. May my Lord, who is four-handed and whose beautifully decorated lotus face, with eyes as red as the rising sun, is smiling, kindly await me at that moment when I quit this material body. Bhisham-dev knew well that Lord Krishna is the original Narayan. His worshipful deity was four-handed Narayan, but he knew that four-handed Narayan is a planetary expansion of Lord Krishna. Indirectly, he desired Lord Shri Krishna to manifest himself in his four-handed feature of Narayan. This is interesting. So a Vaishnava is always humble in his behavior. Although it was 100% certain that Vishnu was approaching Vaikuntha Dham just after leaving his material body, still as a humble Vaishnava, he desired to see the beautiful face of the Lord, or after quitting the present body, he might not be in a position to see the Lord anymore. So, he's not like saying, I'm guaranteed to go back to Godhead. So he's saying, please let me see you, because I don't know what's going to happen after I've died. A Vaishnava is not puffed up. Although the Lord guarantees his pure devotee entrance into his abode, here Bhishamdev says, as long as I do not quit this body, this means that the great general would quit the body by his own will. He was not being forced by the laws of nature. He was so powerful that he could stay in his body as long as he desired. He got this benediction from his father. He desired that the Lord stay before him in his four-handed Narayan feature so that he might concentrate upon him and thus be entranced in that meditation. Then his mind might be sanctified with thinking of the Lord. Thus he did not mind wherever he might go. A pure devotee is never very anxious to go back to the kingdom of God. He entirely depends on the goodwill of the Lord. So, if you so desire, not that you must give me this. He is equally satisfied if the Lord desires him to go to hell. The only desire that a pure devotee entertains is that he may always be in rapt attention with thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord, regardless. Bhishamdev wanted this much only, that his mind be absorbed in thinking of the Lord and that he pass away thus. That is the highest ambition of a pure devotee. So in the material world it's mentioned we try to become ambitious. Our highest ambition is to become absorbed in thinking of Krishna. That should be the ambition. So we divert our ambitions. If we are ambitious, then that should be our ambition. Absorbed in thinking of Krishna. Most people be focused on where I'm going, what will happen, which means that their mind is not focused on Krishna. This is interesting. That we more focus ourselves. What will happen to me? You're afraid, and even if you're chanting the holy name and people around you chanting, you may still be thinking, will I go back? Or what's my destination? Does this process really work? It's natural. You're thinking about yourself. They will either be thinking of the past or future, not the present, and that is the mode of passion or ignorance, not in the mode of goodness. We want to cultivate mode of goodness so that I can think of Krishna in the present. So we're thinking either what we're leaving behind, or if some past things that happened, or we're thinking where am I going? Thinking about the future, but it should be in the present. We need to remember Krishna daily and regularly and practice and cultivating this habit of being in the present with Krishna. Very nice. And these are like things, practices that we can, we should adopt, in our lives and make this life successful by that. Sutavacha yudhistheras tad akarnya shayanam shar panjare aprachad vividan dharman rishinam chanu shrinvatam. So Sutavacha, Shri Suta Goswami said, Yudhisthira, King Yudhishthira, that akarnaya, hearing, shayanam, lying down, shar panjare, on the bed of arrows, aprishat, asked vividan, multifarious dharman, duties, rishinam, of the rishis, cha, and anusharnavitam, hearing after. So Suta Goswami said, Maharaj Yudhishthira, after hearing Bhishamdev speak in that appealing tone, asked him in the presence of all the great rishis about the essential principles of various religious duties. So Bhishamdev, speaking in that appealing tone, convinced Maharaj Yudhishthira that he was very soon passing away, and Maharaj Yudhishthira was inspired by Lord Shri Krishna to ask him of the principles of religion. So Krishna in the heart, he's saying, he knows that Bhishamdev is leaving, so quickly asked this question. Lord Shri Krishna inspired Maharaj Yudhishthira to ask Bhishamdev in the presence of many great sages, indicating thereby that the Lord's devotee, like Bhishamdev, although apparently living as a worldly man, is far superior to many great sages. This is interesting. Even Vyasadeva. Another point is that Bhishamdev at that time was not only lying on a deathbed of arrows, but was greatly aggrieved because of that state. one should not have asked him any question at that time. It's time for mourning. He's leaving his body. He's in a very bad state. He's lost so much blood, and he's in a lot of pain. But Krishna works in mysterious ways. He thinks it's time to ask him questions. Just like when Ravan, I'm not comparing Ravan and Bhisham, but just the process that when Ravan was about to die, and Lord Ram asked Lakshman to take advice from Ravan, and he was like an enemy, and still Lord Ram gave him respect. But Lord Krishna wanted to prove that his pure devotees are always sound in mind and body and mind by dint of spiritual enlightenment, and thus in any circumstances a devotee of the Lord is in perfect order to speak of the right way of life. Yudhishthira also preferred to solve his problematic questions by asking Bhisham-dev rather than ask anyone else present there who was seemingly more learned than Bhisham-dev. This is all due to the arrangement of the great wheel carrier Lord Shri Krishna, who establishes the glories of his devotees. So he wanted Vishnu to be glorified even at the last moment. The father likes to see the son become more famous than himself. The Lord declares very emphatically the worship of his devotee is more valuable than the worship of the Lord himself. This is the reason. Krishna is really, he is really interested in Bhisham-dev to be glorified before he leaves his body. So it's interesting. So Prabhupada mentioned that Bhisham's words and tone are very appealing. This is how we should be. Don't judge any devotee. Don't judge their mistakes, their actions. You don't know internally who they are. Let Krishna judge them. Our goal is to simply offer respect to others and not expect respect back. So we should be always in a humble position and should not be judging to other people, because like we can try and judge Bhisham-dev, but he was an amazing devotee according to Lord Krishna. Even he respected him more than he respected Vyasadev according to this. Bhisham was lying on a bed of arrows, ready to leave his body. No one should be asking him any questions, but Krishna wanted proof that his devotees are ready to preach in all circumstances. So because he did preach, that proved that yes, he is a great devotee and he's always ready to preach Krishna's name and glories. The spiritual enlightenment keeps them sound in body and mind. Srila Prabhupada was fitter than a 20-year-old. When he walked, they had to try and keep up with him. When he traveled by plane to different time zones, he continued his schedule like he had never left his previous destination, while the disciples struggled with body, clock, and jet lag. And how many of us can claim that, even at young age, that we need a couple of days to recover? We go to a different time zone, different temperatures. We have to recover, or get used to that the atmosphere, right? But Srila Prabhupada, he was same wherever he went. He was in the same condition. It's like he was there wherever he was. He's still there. Nothing changed for him. He was always climatized, 24-hour climatized. He didn't have to work at it. And that is it says the spiritual enlightenment keeps them sound in body and mind. So you can imagine Prabhupada, had so many health issues, but he could still go and give a class to thousands of people, and to foreigners he could give a class just like that, and they would listen to him. So even though he was very weak and he had bodily issues, but he could get his message across, no problem. And finally, we'll do this 26. Purushasva bhav vihitan yatha varnam yatha ashranamam vairagya ragopadhi bhayam amnatho bhaya lakshanan So Purush, the human being, Swabhav, by his own acquired qualities, Vihitan, prescribed, Yatha, according to, Varnam, classification of castes, Yatha, according to, Ashramam, orders of life, Vairagya, detachment, Rag, attachment, Upadhi, Bhayam, out of such designations, Amnat, systematically, Ubhaya, both Lakshanan, symptoms. So at Maharaj Yudhishthira's inquiry, Bhishamdev first defined all the classifications of castes and orders of life in terms of the individual's qualifications. Then he systematically, in twofold division, described contraction by detachment and interaction by attachment. So the conception of 4 castes and 4 orders of life, so varnas and ashramas here, as planned by the Lord himself, is to accelerate transcendental qualities of the individual person so that he may gradually realize his spiritual identity and thus act accordingly to get free from material bondage or conditioned life. Also, although we misuse these varnas and ashrams, or the caste system, but that had a purpose. It was a different purpose. In almost all the Puranas, the subject matter is described in the same spirit, and so also in the Mahabharata, it is more elaborately described by Bhishamdev in the Shantipa, beginning from the 60th chapter. So, the Varnashrama Dharma is prescribed for the civilized man just to train him to successfully terminate human life. Self-realization is distinguished from the life of the lower animals engaged in eating, sleeping, feeding, and mating. Bhishamdev advised for all human beings 9 qualifications. So as a human being, not to become angry, not to lie, to equally distribute wealth, to forgive, to beget children only by one's legitimate wife, to be pure in mind and hygienic in body, not to be inimical toward anyone, to be simple and to support servants or subordinates. So that should be the human quality. If we don't have this quality, then we are very close to animalistic behavior and lower animal quality. One cannot be called a civilized person without acquiring the above mentioned preliminary qualities. Besides these, the Brahmanas, the intelligent men, the administrative men, the mercantile community, and the labor class must acquire special qualities in terms of occupational duties mentioned in all Vedic scriptures. So for the intelligent man, so these are 4 classes of varnas. For the intelligent men, controlling the senses is the most essential qualifications. It is the basis of morality. Sex indulgence, even with a legitimate wife, must be controlled, and thereby family control will automatically follow. An intelligent man abuses his great qualifications if he does not follow the Vedic way of life. This means he must seriously make a study of the Vedic literatures, especially of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad-Gita. For learning Vedic knowledge, one must approach a person who is 100% engaged in devotional service. He must not do things which are forbidden in the Shastras. A person cannot be a teacher if he drinks or smokes. In the modern system of education, the teacher's academic qualification is taken into consideration without evaluation of his moral life. Therefore, the result of education is misuse of high intelligence in so many ways. That's the intelligent man. The Kshatriya, the member of the administrative class, is especially advised to give charity and not to accept charity in any circumstances. Modern administrators raise subscriptions for some political functions but never give charity to the citizen in any state function. It is just the reverse. In the injunctions of the Shastras, the administrative class must be well versed in the Shastras, but must not take to the profession of teachers. The administrators should never pretend to become non-violent and thereby go to hell. When Arjuna wanted to become a non-violent coward on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was severely chastised by Lord Krishna. The Lord degraded Arjuna at the time to the status of an uncivilized man for his avowed acceptance of the cult of non-violence. The administrative class must be personally trained in military education. Cowards should not be elevated to the presidential throne by dint of numerical votes only. The monarchs were all chivalrous personalities, and therefore monarchy should be maintained, provided the monarch is regularly trained in the occupational duties of a king. In fighting, the king or the president should never return home without being hurt by the enemy. The so-called king of today never visits the warfield. He is very much expert in artificially encouraging the fighting strength in the hope of forced national prestige. As soon as the administrative class is turned into a gang of mercantile level of men, the whole machinery of government becomes polluted. So you can just read the rest yourself. 4 types of occupations are described here, and they were there for a reason. It's said here, actually bring us closer to spirituality, to accelerate transcendental qualities of the individual person, and not for building a caste system where the Brahmins are the highest and the Shudras are the lowest, like that. And people have misused this knowledge. Okay, so just want to quickly mention that Varnashma system is not material, which we have made it. It's created by Krishna. Whatever Krishna creates is perfect. It's based on different traits and aptitude in our psychophysical nature, qualities, inclinations of individuals, certain attitudes, puts in a particular category. It's completely natural. We are born with those qualities. We should align to our nature. This division of nature is natural. It's to accelerate transcendental qualities of individuals. So what qualities Krishna has given us, if we use them in our work and in serving Krishna, then we please Vishnu by that, and that that we get blessings for that. We should align to our nature. This division of nature is natural. It is to accelerate the qualities of individuals, so he may gradually realize his spiritual identity and thus act only to detach oneself from material bondage and conditional life. And quickly, so why is this natural division important? Because if you are naturally situated according to your nature, that's going to accelerate your transcendental qualities. Some kind of method. How they will be from the top transcendental direction, which will impact you wherever you are. Thus, it will accelerate reviving your true spiritual nature. Then your natural spiritual qualities will come out. Because we want to move from material conditioning to spiritual conditioning, so we can be free from material existence. Varnashram system is not for binding you, it's to liberate you. Human life is a cage, it's a bondage, self-realization is distinguished. So just want to quickly, they will be from the top transcendental direction. Okay, so if you're following your nature, then you are really following what Krishna has asked you to do. And by that, you'll get the blessings of Krishna and he will guide you towards transcendental qualities as well. These are, if you're given psychophysical nature, then these are qualities acquired through the Lord. And we try to copy other people, we try to copy their habits or their qualities, which do not work. So Krishna says, stick to your own qualities, and that is a blessing that Krishna has given us. If you follow them, then you please the Lord by doing that. And we can look at that further next time as well. We'll stop here. Thank you so much. And we'll ask Hina Mataji because she may have to leave. Hina Mataji, would like to add anything? Or see what you understood by that? It's a little bit difficult. Anyway.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for the class. Just a couple of things for me that I took note from these verses. So Firstly, around there's no limitations on devotional service. There's no material impediments. So, devotional service should be our priority. It's not something we should do when we're old or have some free time. One can die at any time. I think I remember in one of Srila Prabhupada's lectures where he says that the death rate is 100%. It's guaranteed. So our consciousness should be correctly situated. And this is more for myself, and that we should that should be our only ambition, our goal of life, regardless of where we end up. That we should have faith that Krishna is always going to be looking out for our best interests. So let's not worry about where we go after we, where we might end up. Just have full faith, and continue our service. And the other point was around the importance of controlling our senses, that they need to be regulated, and they should be regulated to be able to call ourselves as a human being. Otherwise, there's no difference to the animals, which simply act on their whim, and they're driven by. Sorry, I lost connection there. Sorry, so sorry. But yeah, they were just the points that I had noted. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Very good points again, as always. And I think the key things I picked up is that we have to become unflinching in our devotion. That commitment has to be absolute. Is it casual or is it unconditionally for the betterment of this journey? And having this approach to becoming unflinching requires a level of dependency like no other. It means 100% absolute. No ifs, no buts, no whys. Total dependence on Krishna. Bhishmadev had total dependence on Krishna. Even though he was eating the grains of the Kauravas, and he was following the vows we made. Those vows are the morality of individuals. My word is my promise. So he went along with it because he could not disengage from his promise. Vishnu's relationship with Krishna was at a soul level, Paramatma and soul. Where Arjun's relationship initially was at a bodily level because he's a relative. And so it was that. But what happens is, it clearly defines that follow the 9 limbs of bhakti, the methods of devotion. And those will be a guaranteed way to get you home. Bhagavad-Gita 8.56, I think, says, remember me always. I am your everlasting friend. Remember me and worship me. Give up all other religions. And I promise you, I guarantee you, I promise and guarantee you, you will come home. Bhishmadev had that unconditional attachment and dependency on Krishna. And he knew that whilst the 4-armed form was there, but Krishna was waiting for him at the gates of Vaikuntha. At the time of death, this is our pariksha, to remember Krishna. What we do, what we are doing now is little assessments for that journey, little tests along the way. How much of 1.924 have I remembered? How much of this have I internalized? Remember me. I am your friend. Worship me. I promise you, you will come to me. Yudhishthira also knew this, but he was still seeking guidance at the time of Bhishmadev's departure from the earthly realms. And all these are not just Vedic injunctions. These are verses which are meant for each one of us. We may have different varnas. We may be born in Brahmana families, or we may be Kshatriyas, Sudras, farmers, lecturers, trainers, teachers, business people. But perform your duty to the best of your ability. And obviously the Varnashram system is a little bit different because of where we are now, but we can still adapt it to the environment we're in. So we have to inculcate good habits and good actions. We have to teach and preach those words of wisdom that we pick up through our journey. The detachment from this world is necessary. Understand the principles. Understand that people who are engaged in our world, they may be managers, they may be teachers, but if they got no morality, they really do not have the ability to teach. Because I think teaching has to come from the heart. Bhakti has to come from the heart. Teaching, preaching, bhakti are all from the seat of the Super Soul. Krishna does say to Arjun, don't be a darpak. Don't be a coward. Serve your purpose. We all have been entrusted with a purpose and we have to fulfill it. Himsha is necessary, but there's a place and a time to pick up the trishul or the talwar, depending on the set of circumstances. So we have to elevate our hearts, our mind, and our souls to have these transcendental qualities. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Savi, Prabhu, would you like to say something?
Hare Krishna, everyone. I guess everything has been covered by by everyone, but yeah, I my takeaway would be first of all the freedom that we have for devotional service, like you stated. It could be if we want to imitate Lord's pastimes, or if we want to chant, or so. I guess there is no excuse left for us not to be engaged in the devotional service, since the freedom is there. And yeah, apart from that, I'm really interested and looking forward to the next lesson where we'll break down the different classes of society and the duties allotted, so on. Cheers. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Nice to have you, Suresh Prabhu. Hare Krishna. If you're driving, that's fine. And you can move. Okay, Radharani.
Hare Krishna, everyone. My pranams to all of you. Yes, the prayers of Bhishma Pitama, the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, they continue, and even on the bed of arrows, he's praying so nicely to Lord Krishna, because that was his ultimate desire in life, to leave his body in the presence of Krishna and to be able to reveal his heart to the Lord, and also to guide his next generation. Actually, they were the grandchildren who were going to be the rulers of the Hastinapur, trying to give them last lessons as legacy of a strong lineage, of a very, very illustrious lineage. And as our acharyas, they tell us that we don't have to look for the Lord in the bushes of the Vrindavan when we go to the Dham. We have to do something noteworthy that the Lord takes notice of our devotional service. Our faith should be, very strong, solid. It should not waver. And also that we have to chant every day in a mood that even when we are in the last moments of our lives, we will be able to remember Lord in some way, or somebody will help us, and Lord is not going to forget us at that moment. He is going to make sure that he will be present amongst in front of us in one way or another. We should have this faith, and we should in all the circumstances we should be serving Krishna. That was the mood of our previous acharyas, the gurus. And also, in verse 24, we hear the most personal prayers of Bhishma Dev. The end is getting closer and closer, and how his prayers are becoming more personal. And this is how we have to remember Lord. We should do a few minutes of kirtan. We shouldn't worry about how beautiful the mantra is sounding as in a kirtan, but we should just sing for Lord, even if it's for 2-3 minutes or 5 minutes a day, privately. Just sing our heart out. Krishna takes notice of everything, and do our chanting nicely, do the deity worship, or whatever skills we have got, try to use them in the service of Krishna. As Janmashtami is coming on Saturday, we all have got some skill, so let us use our skill to please our lordships at home or in your community temple. So there's so much we can do for Krishna, and the foremost among all the duties is to give the name of the Lord to the other entities, so they can also benefit in this life and have a better destination in the following life. So thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining, and we'll catch up on Friday. Maybe discuss a bit more on the worship, because it's a difficult topic, so we didn't run out of time today. We can discuss a little bit more on Varnashrama Dharma and why it's important on Friday, and we'll continue with Bhishma Dev. So thank you so much. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari
Very bold.